I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review, and this is another Patreon request, this time from Major Pork Chop Express. Very nice person. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who has supported me, whether by Patreon or PayPal. I appreciate it. And if you're ever interested in requesting any other type of videos or reviews or whatever, movie topics, whatever it may be, you can either do so by joining my Patreon or send a request directly via my PayPal. Links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you. Now, the film today is Kung Fu Hustle, and I think this is a film that back in the day I saw it and I didn't quite get it, but watching it again, it was fairly funny. I quite enjoyed this film watching it, because it's pretty much if you take an old school 70s Kung Fu film mixed in with Looney Tunes and some other crazy stuff, and you get this zany, off-the-wall, crazy, goofy, insane type of movie made by Stephen Chow, which I don't remember much about his film Shaolin Soccer. I don't even know if he's done anything since, now that I think about it. Because the only thing I can think of that gets referenced is Shaolin Soccer in this movie. But the story of the film is, after an opening that gives a little bit of background on this gang called the Axe Gang, most of it actually takes place in the slums, where our main character, also played by Stephen Chow, and this other guy, and they do some criminal activity, steal things, stuff of that nature. They really want to get into the Axe Gang. More like they pretend they're the Axe Gang, because they go in these slums and they pretend, oh, well, you know what, if you do this, we'll hurt you, because we're part of this gang. Then, of course, later on found out that these guys are some lying motherfuckers. And how the hell do I go into this without spoiling everything? Let me just mention moments I enjoyed. When they first go into the slums, and Stephen Chow and his buddy are talking all this shit, and there's all the gang of people there of the slums, and they're talking shit like, okay, who wants to come up here? You come up here. You lift weights? No, I raise cattle. Okay. How about you shrimp? Then the guy gets up and he's super tall. Wait. No, not you. How about you, man? It's a guy with glasses, but then he comes in, he's got a ripped fucking body. No, not you. How about you, kid? And then the kid comes in, and same thing, that he has a ripped body. He keeps trying to fight with people, but then they keep being either too tall or too ripped or too this, and like, no. So again, they're bullshitting. The reason they're pretending they're part of this Axe Gang is because they want free shit. And of course they fucked up, because one thing leads to another, and the real gang gets there, and the shit really hits the fan, and that's when the Looney Tunes martial arts stuff really begins. Because in this instance, you have these three Kung Fu masters. One guy has these rings on his arms. One guy kicks ass with a pole. One guy's good with his feet. Meanwhile, later on, the lead guy tries to do these things with knives, but he keeps getting knives in him. And his buddy does a thing with a knife and does this, and it stabs the guy. The guy throws it bounces back, and hits him in the arm. To try to explain this stuff is fucking insane, because you have an instance where the landlord, the lady, just pissed off our lead character and chases him, and it's literally a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote cartoon. The way they're moving, the way the background is, it's a fucking Roadrunner cartoon. And you're either with it or you're not. Same with, there's a point where the bad guys hired these two thugs that have this thing where there's piano wire, and they flick this stuff, it could cut someone's head off easily. And some of the three kung fu guys get fucked up, but then there's two others, the landlord, the landlady, and her husband, that are even more badass, as she has this supersonic scream, and he has this thing where he goes limp, but he's able to maneuver and use people's momentum against them and fuck people up, like going back and forth like a rubber band. And so this gang really wants these people out of there. I'm just going random, and I'm going over the place because this fucking movie, I don't even know how the hell they explain it. There's some nice references when those two take care of these guys with the piano and the wire that could fuck things up. There's a nice reference to Way of the Dragon where this made me laugh. This isn't a reference to it, but I'll get to that. But I have to say, what makes me laugh is there's some bad guys in the car that was watching this, and then they turn and we see their POV, and all of a sudden the guy's there. Oh no, all of a sudden the something's up. And then it cuts, and the rubber band guy's like this in the middle of these two guys. And the way these guys react is like, oh shit. I'm not doing it justice, but the timing of it, the reactions of the bad guys, how at a blink of one shot, the one guy's just there in between and with his arms around the both of their head. And then the landlady's there, and she does the Bruce Lee thing in Way of the Dragon where Bruce Lee was threatening the boss, one of the bosses in Return of the Dragon. You know, she does the same thing there. That was pretty fun. There's homages to The Shining, because there's a part where they're getting the lead guy, Stephen Chow. Hey, you want to be part of our gang? How about this? You need to get this guy, this assassinating the beast, out of the asylum. And while Stephen Chow is in the tunnel to get to him, there's an homage where this thing happens, and it's the elevator from The Shining, this blood flow that goes towards him. The finale, I mean, there's an ode to probably Matrix Reloaded, since this came out a year after, where someone has a metamorphosis and they're dressed similar to what Bruce Lee would be dressed like. And he's kicking a lot of ass at people flying back, kind of like what Neo would make Agent Smith fly back in Matrix Reloaded. You get to see the Buddhist palm technique. Part of me just doesn't want to give a lot of weight to this if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, then you know how buck wild crazy this film is. I mean, I was genuinely surprised how at times this made me laugh, because I remember going, I don't know, I remember seeing this and going, I don't get it. But that's been well over 10 years. Maybe because I understand some of the references more, or I just understand its tone more, or maybe because, yeah, the CGI is not that good, really, but it's part of that cartoony feel, that zaniness, that craziness that it's trying to give to the viewer. And there are moments that made me chuckle. There's a moment where a character does this and right by the bad guy, and so behind him we see the entire fucking building into the form of a hand, and then it cuts to the reaction of two of the characters and just how shocked they look, where it's like, for something there was, I don't know if it's because it was subtle compared to the rest of the comedy in the movie. For some reason that reaction, just the how those two characters never really reacted like that before in the movie, and then that's the moment they react that way, and just, I don't know, just something about that made me laugh. Among other moments that made me chuckle. This movie is just fairly inventive, goofy. It's a fun parody. I would still say I had more fun with Kung Pao Enter the Fist. If we're talking like martial arts parodies. I actually like They Call Me Bruce. I think that's a fun film. But this one was pretty entertaining. I thought it was a bit dark when the three earlier Kung Fu guys get killed. For such a goofy Looney Tunes type of flick, again, I just thought it was a bit dark for this kind of movie. You even see a silhouette of one person's head gets fucking cut off. Which, I mean, I'm laughing about it now, but at the time, like, Jesus. I mean, it's nothing bloody gory or anything. It's not Evil Dead 2 or stuff, but you see enough of it, you go, fuck. I mean, for a movie that's so goofy and silly, it was like, oh shit, what tone is this going to be now? But it wasn't such a distracting feature that made me dislike the film or anything. And it does have a lot of its silly... If you go in this film not knowing that it's akin to a Looney Tunes sensibility, you might be one of the, like me, where it's like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, what the fuck is this? But I think if you do know that going in, you're going to get a bit more fun out of it. I'm trying to think if there's anything really I disliked. I mean, there's a few nitpicks here and there, but overall, I thought it was energetic. It was fairly inventive. Certain moments, going back to when the two bad guys with the wire, the piano wire. And there's certain moments where you have, it's piano wire, but then it turns to this forceful faces. I know that doesn't make sense. But if you see the movie, you know what I mean. And then the landlady does her supersonic scream and just fucking blast them away. It's weird even describing this film. Describing this film sounds like someone who's on fucking acid. Like, what did you see? Plot of Kung Fu Hustle. Okay, what drugs did you take? I didn't take any. Are you sure? I don't believe you. It's like, yeah, I didn't take any. I just saw a film called Kung Fu fucking Hustle. But yeah, it's one of those that's like, Sorry, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I want to see what else Stephen Chow has done. I guess apparently last year he had talks of doing a sequel. I mean, it's been so long, so I don't know, but I'd be maybe curious about it, but let's see. Okay, he's mainly been an actor. I want to see, what about directing? Well, he's directed a couple. He directed something called CJ7, Journey to the West, and the New Teen Comedy. CJ7 looks like it's a family film about a little critter, little toy. So maybe it's trying to be a little bit like E.T. Journey to the West. Something about demons. Okay. No, I was just curious about it. Looked up some trivia. In 2010, Bill Murray praised it, saying, "It's the supreme achievement of the modern age in terms of comedy. There should have been a day of mourning for American comedy the day that movie came out." I guess, like, compared to us, we're not doing anything compared to what Stephen Chow's doing. I was going to see if there's anything about the inspiration for the film, if there's anything I'm missing about it. But no, not really, sadly. Not much on trivia. So I was just curious about that. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to even review this film, because how do you review a Looney Tunes cartoon? Like, how do you review that? People get mad that it's unrealistic. It's not supposed to be unrealistic. Comedy's subjective. You either find it funny or not. I found a good bit of this fairly funny. I don't think you needed the very beginning that shows the build-up of the axe game, where the guy goes, "I would never harm a lady," but he shoots the girl from behind with a shotgun. I don't think the very beginning really added much of anything. I mean, yeah, that's the axe game, but we could have literally just known that in the present, even with just a handful of bits of dialogue. I think it could just start off right in the present, in the slums, in this little neck of the woods where most of our characters are at. I think people would have got the idea. It's called the axe game. I think people can understand what they are. So I didn't really care much about the opening of the film. The landlady, I wasn't sure if I was going to like her. Like, wow, she's really bitchy and stuff. But I did grow to like her. I did grow the little bit where she always has a cigarette, and when she gears up, the whole fucking cigarette is pretty much gone, and then she unleashes her rage. It was cool to see where the lead character goes to, and I would say satisfying that he really is a kung fu master. Just go watch the film. Go watch the film. My review ain't doing it justice. I don't know if any review could do it justice. It's a pretty crazy movie. It was just fun to watch. Compared to a lot of movies nowadays, it was just fun to watch to see how inventive someone could be. Okay, what can you do with a martial arts film? Stephen Chow, hey, let me take a crack at it, and did something like this. So I welcome more craziness from people. Doesn't automatically means it's gonna be good, but I welcome it. So yeah, if you've never seen Kung Fu Hustle, give it a look. It's pretty out there, but I think if you're really into martial arts, you'll get a kick out of it. Maybe not every joke will land, but definitely a fun vibe to it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.